Welcome back, race fans, to the 2022 Midwest Sim Racing Association's Rapid Fired Pizza Nationals. Today, we're at the world-famous Virtual Road America, our first road course of the season. I'm excited. I hope you are as well. As always, my name is James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Breathe action, 1080p, 60 frames a second. As drivers are getting lined up, and let's take a look at the grid for tonight. Billy Fitzgerald starts on pole. Braxton DeWeese starting second. Matt Knight starts third. Matthew Dyer starting fourth. Colby Weber starting fifth. Diego Villalobos starts sixth. Evan Longacre starting seventh. Julio Villalobos Jr. starts eighth. Kenny Meadows starting ninth. Mike Howerton starts 10th. We got David Centeni starting 11th. Greg Newsom starting 12th. Cycling it back, Barry Stevens starting 13th. John Binder starts 14th. We've got Scott Stevens starting 15th. Timothy Davis starting 16th. And Richard Malugani rounding out the 17-car grid here tonight. The first road course of the season, or at least the first one I've had the pleasure of calling the action with here at the Rapid Fired Pizza Series. Gotta thank those sponsors for coming on board. Rapid Fired Pizza, as well as Old School Ninjas, are two presenting sponsors. Got a stage caution on lap 10. And then we've got 20 laps here at the massive 4-mile Raceway Road America in Wisconsin. Waiting for a few more drivers. Stevens, Davis, Malagani to make their way out onto the grid. And it looks like we're going to roll them out behind our iRacing safety car, a abbreviated warm-up lap here. Got to run the full course. That's a long time under caution conditions. Pace car is in. Green flag is out, and away they go at Road America. It's Fitzgerald and DeWeese up front. Dyer and Knight kind of on the second row. We're all going to funnel into turn one. Some of the drivers kind of hanging back here. Three drivers opting to start from pit road. That's Stevens, Davis, and Malugani. Fitzgerald letting it eat in the number 22 Chevrolet out front. DeWeese runs second. Not sure what happened. DeWeese, hey, Davis showed involved in a crash, but takes the toe back to pit road. As here comes DeWeese looking for a move. Oh, through the grass. And then Billy Fitzgerald backs it in. All out of shape in the number 22 machine. That's going to give DeWeese the lead. Here comes Dyer as well as Diego Villalobos, looking to work their way up front. That's going to give DeWeese a very comfortable gap here. 1.6 seconds up over Billy Fitzgerald, who is shuffled back to second. Matthew Dyer third. Diego Villalobos fourth. We got somebody off track. That's going to be Matt Knight. The Aussie number 25 machine to collect himself. I don't think I saw any hands on the left side of that number 25 Toyota Camry. It just shows how tough it is navigating the road course. As you watch Kenny Meadows in 96 get a little bit of tail end happy as well. I'm thinking this is going to be a night of consistency for these drivers. As Julio Villalobos Jr., David Centeni leads up nose to tail. Centeni up 5 positions early on. The 79 machine looks to make it 6. As he's pulling up alongside Villalobos Jr. for the battle for 5th. Centeni's going to throw it into turn 1. And he will get the position now up front. It looks like Fitzgerald slowly reeling in Braxton DeWeese, your race leader. As Matthew Dyer lags in 3rd in the number 2. But Fitzgerald has closed the gap to less than 0.6 of a second here, the race leader. But oh no, I was getting ready to say Matthew Dyer was closing the gap as well until he goes just a little bit too hard on the brakes here. And he will fall back to 5th as Centeni takes over the 4th place spot. Oh, and Kenny Meadows has an incident as well, losing the car. Meadows drops back down to 12th. There's John Binder behind. He's had his own off-track excursion, but let's go back up front. As now that Matthew Dyer, the number 2 machine, had his moment, it's a 2-car breakaway. Braxton DeWeese, Billy Fitzgerald have pulled a 3-second gap over Diego Villalobos. So you see flat tracking in the background. This could be one of our most exciting races of the season. As these Xfinity cars, known for how abruptly they can put down the power, especially on a road course when the tires haven't really come in. Have to be very, very gentle on both the throttle and the brakes. As DeWeese and Fitzgerald charge up the start and finish line straight, still hold about a 3-second advantage over 3rd place Diego Villalobos. Looks like Fitzgerald not quite willing yet to put a nose in on DeWeese. He's going to follow the number 8 machine for a little while longer. A little bit further back in the pack, you've got, looks like it's going to be Matthew Dyer, Julio Villalobos Jr., Colby Baber running 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th here. And oh no, around goes the 45 of Villalobos. Parked precariously in the line. Looks like Matt Knight got a piece of him there. Trying to see what type of damage might be on the number 25 machine of Matt Dyke. As he tucks in behind Evan Longacre. Well, looks like he has the checkup pretty fiercely as Baber and Longacre were nose to tail. Longacre loses the spot, falls back to 8th. And Knight, oh, gets drilled by the 51 of Howerton. Look, I think the front right is heavily damaged. No, it looks like it's still there, but that number 25 machine is crab walking pretty spectacularly. But I think he's going to try and limp it down to pit road. Now, while this has been going on, DeWeese and Fitzgerald have been linked up for the entire time. Rides me to that. DeWeese goes off track. Fitzgerald gets the spot. And DeWeese, if he doesn't get it going quickly, he's about to have company. Here comes Villalobos. Here comes Centeni. As now Fitzgerald has a massive breakaway, almost 4 seconds on the rest of the field. And I think Diego Villalobos, David Centeni running 3rd and 4th. Now a little bit of blood in the water here. Now there is that stage caution on lap 10. We're going to bring everybody down pit road and bunch them back up. Oh, DeWeese off track again. tides come down pit road, and Deweese falls all the way back to 5th. That's going to move Diego Villalobos, David Centeni up to 2nd and 3rd. 4.6 seconds back, and look at this Centeni going side by side with Villalobos in the 43 machine, looking to take over that 2nd place spot. Villalobos opts to tuck in, not trying to throw it in too deep. We've seen so many drivers have incidents very early on. Now Fitzgerald in that number 1 spot, the number 22 Chevrolet qualified on pole and looking to set the pace here, but David Centeni, hands down on our hard charger, qualified 11th, has worked his way up 9 positions so far tonight. And Diego Villalobos having a good run as well. He's up 3 spots early on. Diego Villalobos, you can see that car dancing all over the place, the 43 machine, but doing a good job keeping Centeni in his sights. Centeni will stretch that gap to about 7 or 8 tenths at a time. And then Villalobos quickly closes the door. Like Braxton Deweese trying to charge back forward as well. He's got Matthew Dyer ahead of him in the number 2 machine. In the upcoming battle for 4th as they try and catch the draft together. Let's see what Deweese can do on the brakes here. Looks like Dyer going for that slow and fast out approach in that number 2 Ford Mustang, able to miss the slightest of margins on Deweese. Greg Newsom, an off-track excursion, the number 23 machine. Got 3 drivers, 2 drivers that have retired early. Scott Stevens, Timothy Davis were not scored with a lap. Richard Malagani did not start. Meanwhile, Matt Knight is in pit road trying to get those repairs done. And on screen is the battle for 4th. Matthew Dyer, Braxton Deweese, separated by less than a quarter of a second, and here comes Deweese. No, Dyer answers back. Very much a game of consistency. Dyer puts about a 1.2 second advantage. Kenny Meadows has gained a spot. It looks like that's Evan Longacre taking an alternative route in the number 95 machine. But once that live timing tower says 20 to go, that's going to signify it's time for a stage caution. That's going to happen on lap 10 here. Now it looks like Howerton making a move on Longacre around the outside, going into turn 1. He's going to gain the 9th place spot, up 1 spot from where he qualified. And right now the field looks pretty stretched out. Let's check in on Billy Fitzgerald, your race leader. A 5-second gap to the favor of the 22 machine. You can see the dirt getting kicked off. There's David Centini in second. Oh, as well as a very animated car out of Diego Villalobos, trying to put the power down via Villalobos. 2.8 seconds, 2.9 seconds back from Centini. And I love watching these two, Matthew Dyer, Braxton DeWeese, continuously going back and forth as far as that time goes. DeWeese has once again closed it about 3/4 of a second to Dyer's number 2. Matthew Dyer, the lone Ford in the top 5, surrounded by Chevrolets. With our fastest Toyota out on track, belonging to Colby Baber in the number 10. He's in 6th place. So are we going to see DeWeese try and close the gap here? We're on board Braxton. A great camera angle, and more importantly, the audio, letting you hear how ginger these guys are having to be on the throttle. Can't just stomp the gas. It's a surefire way to send that back end spinning around. Second of Dyer, trying to pick up just a little bit of draft. Now both competitors have had mistakes here at the bottom of the hill early on. You can see DeWeese having to check up a little bit, maybe coming in just the slightest bit too deep. That allows Dyer to pull out of the hole just a little bit. And DeWeese and the number 8 Chevrolet all over the back of Matthew Dyer. Well, Dyer with an off-track excursion. That's going to give DeWeese the position. DeWeese moves back up to 4th. Dyer falls back to 5th. And now it's going to be Dyer's turn to chase down Braxton DeWeese. Loving the paint scheme on Dyer's number 2 here tonight. Let's see, what sponsor is that on Matthew Dyer? Now Braxton DeWeese pulling the slightest bit of gaps over the number 2 machine. Check back in on Dave Centini running 2nd out on track. About 6.6 seconds back from Fitzgerald. 5 seconds ahead of Villalobos in the 43 machine. Oh, no, it's right as we say that, Villalobos cooks it a little bit too much on the brakes. Almost like he has too much rear brake bias, maybe, and sent it sliding around. Matt Knight's going to return back out on track, number 25 machine. But look at this. This is going to allow Braxton DeWeese to very quickly catch up and put himself into podium contention if DeWeese and Villalobos start battling. It'll very soon be a 3-car battle with the likes of Matthew Dyer closing the gap. Goes Villalobos off track. Deweese able to get around. What's Matthew Dyer gonna do here? As Dyer having to really low it up. Now, Villalobos, to his credit, not letting Deweese walk away with it here, right back on the rear end of the number 8. We got 2 more laps to go before our stage caution of the night. And with how spread out the field is here, I don't think that we're going to see a full force caution really need to come out at all. Trying to stretch his legs up into 3rd. He's not somebody that's done a lot of official iRacing events either, so it looks like both Deweese and Villalobos cooking in too much on the brakes. I was about to say that allows Dyer to close the gap. But then he has a big moment as well. 100% a night of consistency as Deweese, Villalobos, Dyer have been kind of taking their turns on slight little bobbles. You see Villalobos the back end dancing again. On screen, the battle of 4th continues. Braxton Deweese in 3rd has been able to pick up about a 3-second margin over Villalobos and Dyer. And we've got 1 more lap before the stage break. Ooh, Villalobos really testing the limits of traction there. Who's that just ahead of Villalobos? I wonder if they're running into traffic already? No, that's Braxton Deweese, so Villalobos has been able to close the gap ever so slightly to the number 8 machine. But I do worry because he's been on the ragged edge lap after lap here. Not leaving himself much, if any, room for error in that 43 Chevrolet. Chevy owning the top 4 spots here, after Dyer in the Ford has gotten moved back to 5th. look at the slip angle that Villalobos is holding there. It doesn't appear to be the fastest way around as Dyer closing the gap here. Will we see a big lunge number 2 machine under the braking zone, or is he going to play it safe? Dyer looks to the inside line. And yes, he's going to go for it, working his way back up to 4th. Now let's see, does Dyer have the pace to close the gap to Braxton DeWeese in 3rd? As the full course caution is out for the stage break. With Billy Fitzgerald taking the top spot and the 22 machine, David Centeni 2nd, Braxton DeWeese 3rd, Matthew Dyer 4th, Diego Villalobos 5th, Colby Baber 6th, Barry Stevens 7th, Kenny Meadows 8th, Mike Howerton 9th, and Julio Villalobos Jr. rounds out our top 10 following the stage. Now Fitzgerald's still looking for his first win of the season coming into tonight. As leading the points is Colby Baber, Evan Longacre, and David Centeni running 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Let me tell you folks, it's going to be a long time on eye-pacing conditions. A 4-mile raceway here at Road America. And everybody's going to come down pit road. I can't imagine anybody's going to stay out here. As you can see the pit crew working on Fitzgerald's 22 machine. Looks like he's going to take 4 tires. And away he goes. Now we did get word Greg Newsome in the 23 machine getting the lucky dog in the wave around. I'm curious to see how much time he's going to have. He's missing the hood on the front of that Chevrolet Camaro. Is he going to have enough time to make his way around the circuit, come down pit road, and still join the field before they're ready to go? That is a long way to traverse for Greg Newsome. I believe the rest of the field coming out of the carousel. No, that's still at the inner track section. Taking the left and right into the carousel. Greg Newsome's going to have to absolutely haul the mail if he wants to catch up to this field before we go green. I'm wondering if it's just going to be one lap under caution. Newsome comes down pit road. So we are going to roll another lap here behind the iRacing safety car. Newsome barely getting out in front of the field here. I think that was Evan Longacre behind him, the 95 machine. They've got to really get going here. Oh, they make contact. Greg Newsome gets into Longacre. There's 25 of Matt Knight getting a lap back. Howerton and Villalobos Jr. have come down pit road. So Longacre putting the pedal on in the number 95 machine. Doing his best to catch up to this pack. They're running about 4 minutes under pacing conditions. The lap time here for the fast guys is a 2:15, 2:16. Longacre's fastest was a 2:16, so he may be able to catch up to the field here, but it's going to be a long way to go to make it happen. I will be very impressed if Longacre is able to make his way around and be able to rejoin the field in time for the start. Braxton DeWeese and Billy Fitzgerald, who's going to be on the front row, they are just about a half lap through this final caution lap. breaks for Longacre and Newsom, as well as Matt Knight trying to catch up to the back of the field. I mean, this is race pace for these guys. The race leaders are a half lap through. This might happen. I mean, Longacre technically back on the lead lap. Braxton DeWeese is about 7/10 through this final pace lap before we go green again. There'll be 17 laps left to go. Longacre might be able to do it, catch him back up to DeWeese and Fitzgerald on the front row. Looks like it's going to show 13 drivers on the lead lap. Unfortunately, doesn't look like Longacre is going to be able to catch up to the field in time as the iRacing safety car ducks in. And the green flag flies. DeWeese with the race lead. That's going to put Fitzgerald and Centini side by side, the battle for second. As Centini has a bit of a lockup, gets to the side of Fitzgerald. Dyer comes in, cleans out Centini. The Matthew Dyer, David Centini are going to be all but done now, I would say. And a big, big crash as they get it fired back up, going back up towards the front. Braxton DeWeese pulls an early 2.3 second gap. Diego Villalobos has moved up to second. Fitzgerald, after getting roughed up, he's fallen back to third. Oh, there goes Villalobos off track. Fitzgerald takes over second once more. Colby Baber looks for an opening in the number 10. Not able to find it yet. Hard Charger out on track. Barry Stevens, the number 78 Chevrolet. He's moved up 7 spots all the way to 6th. Watching Fitzgerald, Villalobos, Baber running second, third, and fourth. They are about a second and a half ahead of Kenny Meadows, running out the top 5, and about 3.2 seconds back from Braxton DeWeese, your race leader. First time we've seen that number 8 machine of Braxton DeWeese with a whole lot of clean air, as it was the Billy Fitzgerald show early on tonight. Matthew Dyer coming down pit road. Centini opted to stay out in the 79. Now the big question is, will Fitzgerald have enough time? Will he have the pace to track down Braxton DeWeese? Or does he have a little bit of damage in that into that may hinder his charge forward. Villebo's deep on the brakes, looks for an opening that's just not there. Fitzgerald's closed the gap now to 1.9 seconds back from your race leader. Fitzgerald's now closed the gap to 1.6 seconds, charging forward to DeWeese. Now, we were talking about it earlier, DeWeese really hasn't ran many official iRacing road events. A rookie road license for Braxton DeWeese. Try and pull up those official stats for everybody at home. Well, that's a statistic you guys are gonna like. For the Ohio native Braxton DeWeese, he's been on iRacing since 2019. He has exactly one official road start in his name. A little bit further back, though, Diego Villalobos has come to the likes of Colby Weber, working hard to get up onto the podium and around that 43 machine. Also looks like Kenny Meadows in the 96 joining the fray. Currently running 5th in the Ford Mustang. And seeing how busy things are between Villalobos and Baber, a podium still not out of the cards yet. They were kicking up a little bit of dirt in the pursuit of the 43. Also got another battle going on. Villalobos Jr., Mike Howerton. Very, very close together. What will be the battle for 6th? Villalobos Jr., the 45, up 1 spot, just ahead of him. Mike Howerton, the 51, is up 4 positions. Meadows, Howerton. Oh no, it's going to be Barry Stevens, the 78, who's our hard charger, up 5 spots so far. As up front is still Braxton DeWeese, but he can see Billy Fitzgerald, the pole setter, right behind on the 22. Less than a 1.2 separates your lead car, Braxton DeWeese, from Billy Fitzgerald, down to a 2nd. As Fitzgerald was hard on the brakes, but DeWeese has been very quick out of the corners here at Road America. Got 14 laps left to go. like Diego Villalobos had an off track. That allows Colby Baber to take over the third place spot. Keep an eye out though on that 43 machine, as I think he's going to fight very, very hard here to get back into podium contention. Villalobos about 6/10 back from Baber's 10. As up front, Fitzgerald still trying to track down Braxton DeWeese. Like Villalobos was going to take a shot on the inside, swings back to the out. Not quite able to do it, but that's that aggressiveness we were talking about out of the 43 machine. Oh, as Baber has a bobble. Villalobos tries to carry some speed around the outside, but has to check that. Check up, I should say. And now Kenny Meadows, the 96 machine, going to join the party. Villalobos way off track. Meadows makes a move, backs out of it. Uh-oh, Colby Baber having a bit of connection issues in the third place spot. As Villalobos and Meadows still linked up nose to tail, the last thing they want to see is a blinking number 10 machine. Looking like it might be a three-car battle for fourth. You've got Villalobos, Meadows, Howerton has joined the fray. Baber has stretched his gap to 1.4 seconds over the 43 machine. You know Villalobos is fast. Does he have the consistency to get back inside the top three? Meadows not giving up in that 96 machine, who is also up front. Braxton DeWeese has company for the first time in a while with Billy Fitzgerald has closed the gap. It was down to a half second. Oh, as traffic hops out of the way, it's Greg Newsom, the 23. Had a bit of a bobble at a very inopportune time. That's going to get DeWeese and Fitzgerald around nice and clean. But now Baber, Villalobos, and Meadows are going to get linked up. I'm curious to see how this train of drivers running third, fourth, fifth are going to work their way through traffic. Now they're about 12 seconds back to battle for the lead. So up front against Deweese and Fitzgerald, separated by about 0.7 of a second. 12 seconds away from them is Baber, Villalobos, and Meadows. All three drivers battling for that final podium spot. There's the little bit of traffic we see ahead with Greg Newsom, the 23 machine. Heading down the hill. It's almost got exciting for Deweese and Fitzgerald. Will the same happen for 3rd, 4th, and 5th place as Baber really almost lost the back end there. Looks like they may catch up to Newsom going into the carousel. We'll keep an eye out on that. Baber getting a bit of a breakaway, about a 1.1 second advantage over Diego Villalobos in 4th. Now the gap's closing again here in the battle for 3rd. How will traffic come into effect? Newsom hops out of the way rather quickly for Baber. Around goes Villalobos. Meadows gets hung up very slightly here in the 96 machine. Gets back to the gas. He's trying not to lose the draft as Villalobos as Villalobos tucked in right behind Baber. Yet again, a three-car battle for the final podium spot. It's Deweese and Fitzgerald running 1st and 2nd. But all eyes are on Baber, Villalobos, and Meadows running 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Now Barry Stevens, David Centini have come down pit road for another additional stop. Trying to get those those cars hammered back into shape as I control the cameras here to make it till the end. And Villalobos staying right there with the number 10 machine, fighting hard for that podium spot. Meanwhile, Kenny Meadows just kind of stalking, he's waiting to see if any mistakes present themselves. You've also got a battle for 6 going on. Howerton and Villalobos. Villalobos muscling up the inside line. Howerton a little bit loose, goes off track. No contact, I don't think, was made between the two. I think Greg Newsom followed him off track there as well. Yes, he did. Oh, a big moment for Villalobos. Off the track while on the throttle. This may give Kenny Meadows the opportunity he's looking for. Meadows not quite able to capitalize, but he's been very consistent all season long. Not going to try and throw it away here if he can help it. definitely the closest battle out on track, a half second separating Villalobos in the 43, Meadows in the 96. Right now, Baber has pulled about 2.3 seconds in third. We check in on race leader Billy Fitzgerald. Picked up a pass on this lap over Braxton. Deweese had a bit of an off-track excursion. But now Fitzgerald's going to try and hold on to it. Qualified on pole number 22. Braxton Deweese qualified second, so both drivers very, very quick here. He's going to try and keep his head down, see if he can catch up to Fitzgerald however he can. Again, it's been a night all about consistency out of these drivers, those who make the least amount of mistakes, and at least this evening it's been Deweese. Kind of in a league of their own, 13.4 seconds up, Colby Baber, who sits in third. Laps left to go. And Deweese right there with the 22 machine, keeping the pressure on Fitzgerald. This road course seems pretty tough for these drivers to make any big moves. It's all about big braking attempts, I would say, lunges to try and edge out the guy and take that inside line away. Let's see if Deweese is going to try and set it up here against Fitzgerald. It's been about a quarter of a second. Fitzgerald with a very slight bobble. Cut through some grass. Actually gained a little bit of time. You can hear him grabbing those downshifts. I wonder if Deweese checked up to avoid an incident. But keep an eye on the brakes. Get on the brakes a little bit earlier. Get the car settled and get good drive. See if he can try it here through turn one. Or he's going to tuck in behind Fitzgerald and maybe make an attempt on the brakes going down the hill. Looks like Deweese is still going to fall along the 22 right there on the bumper. Had an opportunity to throw a nose in and kind of backed out of it. Got a report Evan Longacre has put it back in the virtual hauler on lap 21. He is done and out for the night. As David Centini back in 10th place, the number 79 just clicked off the fastest lap of the evening, a 2:14.59. As Fitzgerald, a little bit of contact between Fitzgerald and Deweese. Fitzgerald off track, Deweese takes over the race lead. I don't think it was malicious there. I think just Deweese not able to avoid Fitzgerald, who had a bit of a checkup. It's almost the same spot we saw Fitzgerald go off track a lap prior. And now Deweese going to try and put the hammer down. Deweese pulls a quick 3/4 of a second gap over Fitzgerald. Deweese will have a bit of front end damage on the 8. Fitzgerald a bit of rear end damage after that last lap contact between the pair. And here comes Fitzgerald to put the pressure back on the number 8 machine. 24 laps in, and still these two could barely be separated. Will Deweese be able to handle the pressure? Fitzgerald right behind in the 22. Let's see what these lap times are. Now that the guys are wicking up the pace a little bit. Last time by, they were almost 4 to 5 seconds off their personal best. And I think right now, let's see what it updates to. Both drivers with low 218s. If Deweese focuses on hitting his marks and not riding defensive, I'd expect to see a fast lap out of these two drivers. Fitzgerald doing everything he can to try and catch back up. And how is the damage affecting both of these drivers? I'll give you an idea. These guys just checking out tonight. Let's go back as Howardson. Oh, right as I do that, Howardson and Villabos narrowly avoiding a bit of contact there in the battle for sixth. And again, we are 25 laps in, and Deweese and Fitzgerald have been right there with each other ever since the age of the end of the stage break. This has given both drivers ample opportunity to kind of measure each other up, see their different strengths, their different weaknesses. In the case of Billy Fitzgerald running second in the 22 machine, maybe plot out a course of action here. Now I'm a bit surprised as well. Last time these drivers clicked off identical 2-minute 19-second 0.5 lap times, a full 5 seconds off the pace. I'm wondering if they're both equally damaged here and maybe cooked up a little bit of tires over the duration of what will be a 20-lap run after the stage break. A little bit less, closer to 17 or 18 laps of green flag racing following the stage. Man, oh man, Fitzgerald absolutely stalking the number 8 of Braxton Deweese. Go on board with Fitzgerald. That's what a half second, no, a 3/10 second advantage to the likes of Deweese looks like. Here I'm blipping on D-cell, trying to get the car settled. That's the little section of track that Deweese and Fitzgerald had that contact on. Oh, look at that. Fitzgerald takes a peek at the inside line. Not able to get it as Deweese closes the door. Did Fitzgerald lose momentum there? I think he did. He's going to lose about a 10th up the hill. Closer to 2/10 by the time Deweese gets ready to settle in for turn 1. Now Fitzgerald's going to have to try and close that gap again. Half a second to the favor of Braxton Deweese. Fitzgerald showing he's a bit antsy here, trying to find an opening through that number 8 machine without having to make one. And Braxton Deweese, who only has one official iRacing Roadstar to his name, gonna be able to pull it off here tonight. He qualified second, he had strong pace. But Fitzgerald is not going to give it up. Now these guys have pulled a 15.5 second advantage over Colby Baber. The rest of the field very spread out. There's not really any battles going on less than 2 seconds between anybody else out on track. As we have 10 drivers still out on the lead lap, 12 drivers still running total out of the 17 who originally entered here. see Fitzgerald with a couple of slight feints the inside line, but I think he learned his mistakes on the lap prior. Not wanting to give up all that time on the start-finish line. Squarely in the draft of Braxton DeWeese. Looks like Fitzgerald maybe just the slightest a bit down on power compared to the number 8 machine, but 2 laps left to go. Little bit of traffic ahead. I think that's Newsom, the 23 machine. As it looks to me like either DeWeese has just the slightest bit more power at this point, or is able to carry just the slightest bit more corner momentum. Whereas Fitzgerald seems to be making up a lot of the time on the brakes. There's Newsom. Is that Newsom or is that Matt Knight? No, that was Newsom. The race leaders still 6/10 apart between DeWeese and Fitzgerald. David Centini has problems. He takes a tow back to pit road. Calling it a bit of an early evening. All eyes on Fitzgerald, still searching for that first win. Oh no, Fitzgerald has problems. Off track in the 22. I wonder if he gets a slowdown there. Doesn't seem like it. He actually gained a couple of tenths on Braxton DeWeese. We'll know for certain going into turn 1. The white flag is out. Like Fitzgerald's still on the pace, so not thinking he got a slowdown. I was a bit nervous that maybe he cut through too much racetrack and the built-in officials were going to slow him down a little bit. For the final time, they're going to come charging down the hill at Road America. Where's Fitzgerald going to take that shot? Where is he going to try and make a move at? As DeWeese is going to be very, very defensive here. Now we've seen Fitzgerald kind of take a few feints at DeWeese right before the uphill start-finish line. I wonder if that's going to be the same place. The number 22 is going to try and make something happen here. He's about a half second back from DeWeese into the carousel. DeWeese once again gets a little bit better charge out of the corners. Fitzgerald trying to carry as much corner speed as he possibly can. He's 3/10 back, surely too far back to try and make something happen on the brakes. Takes a look, says no, not yet, in the Canada corner. Giving another couple of tenths to DeWeese. Fitzgerald driving the wheels off that thing. DeWeese guards the inside line. Fitzgerald looks wide. I don't think he's going to have it as they do a drag race to the start-finish line. DeWeese pulls a gap and picks up the win here at Road America. Billy Fitzgerald finishing second. And it's going to be Colby Baber, the number 10 machine, rounding out the top 3 here tonight. 30 laps, and at the end, separated by just 0.4 of a second. Well done to DeWeese and Fitzgerald, putting on a fantastic show here. And that's going to do my time up here in the booth here at the 2022 Midwest Sim Racing Association Rapid Fired Pizza Nationals. As always, on behalf of Rapid Fired Pizza, Old School Ninjas, and myself with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, I'm going to hand it over to our podium crew. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you at the next one.
All right, guys, this is Mike Howerton here with the Rapid Fired Pizza National Series in the pits. Down on victory lane, we're going to check in with the podium finishers tonight. And first off, we got the third place finisher, Colby Baber. Colby, how was things out there on the track for you tonight? This was a long second run on that second stage tonight.
Yeah, I can just say that it was difficult for me at least. Just having to control the car over the run. I was getting really loose, especially on corner exit. It's kind of how this car has to be able to go fast. But, yeah, it's just, that second run there after the stage break, just fighting to keep it under control.
Yeah, how much fuel did you have left there at the end? It couldn't have been much. I know I went back in and topped off there on that second lap of the right before we went green. Did you have more than a lap left of fuel?
I think I had just about a gallon, maybe 1.2 or something. Originally, I thought this race was 35 laps, so I figured we're going to have to split that in the last stage in half, but came in, noticed it's 30, so that kind of changed everything up. I knew I was going to be able to make it there on that last run with those caution laps. I was clutching the whole time during those just to be able to save enough fuel because I knew it was going to be close. But, yeah, I had just enough left.
Yeah, these road courses are wildly different than the ovals that we usually race. Did you get a lot of practice laps in this week, or you just usually do better at the road courses?
I did get a little practice in, mainly because I'm not a road racer, and if I don't, then I'll just come out here and slide all over and spin myself out. But yeah, I got some practice in, not as much as I'd like, obviously, because wasn't running anywhere near pace that those front two guys were.
Yeah, the two guys out in front, man, they were leaving everybody behind. So yeah. Anyway, Colby, anything else you want to say here, or anything you want to talk about what's coming up next week or anything for you guys?
Yeah, I'll just take the opportunity to thank sponsors, Old School Ninjas, Rapid Fire Pizza. Thanks to MSRA for putting this league on every week. It's always fun to come out here and race these guys. Thanks to the simracingzone.com, Toyota Supra. Had a good car tonight, put us on the podium. So thanks, everybody.
Absolutely, guys. There you have it, your third place finisher tonight. Now, over those two guys that were in a different zip code tonight, and that is Billy Fitzgerald has finished second place tonight. And if memory serves, Billy, at the last road course you're at Coda, you also finished on the podium there and did real nice as well. So, man, how did the car feel tonight? And man, what does it take to get those kind of lap times here at a road course on the NASCAR, one of those NASCARs?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's another second place. I was struggling there at the end. It was like trying to ice skate, and I was pushing as hard as I can, and I got ahead of Braxton at one point and then got loose, and he ended up getting into the back of me, so gave him a little bit of damage, and then at that point I was just pushing hard as I could to get back past him. But, I mean, it's a road course. It's not easy to pass on these things, and I don't know, but I got a lot of I did practice a ton, and that's where the speed comes from. I love road courses. I know a lot of guys in here probably don't, but I enjoy learning them and trying to be as fast as possible.
Yeah, man, I love road course racing as well, but I'm just not sure I like it in these heavy NASCAR cars. This Xfinity car is heavy and got a lot of power. So like you said, it's it's a bit loose there and slipping and sliding there towards the end of a tire run. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. But, I like road course racing. Road America is a great course. And, so coming into the week, man, did you guys have a base set up for road courses? You able to adapt pretty quickly, or did you guys have to put a lot of work into it?
I just went with the base setup, and I made some small alterations, but it was what I was using was, it was good. The original one was pretty good, and I was starting this track from scratch. I'd never ran on it before, so I didn't get any really long run-ins, and so I didn't know how I was going to do after 10, 15 laps, but I managed to still hold on to some speed. But like you said, these cars are not. I don't know. They're fun, but they're not, and because it's such a challenge to get them around. You have to baby it, and you can't get on the throttle like you can in a GT3 car. So, I did what I could.
Well, you did what you could and made your way to the podium there in second place. And any final thoughts for us, Billy?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out to the guys at OSN Racing, Old School Ninjas, the co-sponsor, Rapid Fire Pizza, and Team Goon Squad for doing our broadcast. They do a phenomenal job, and it's nice to be able to go back and see where you can improve and just have something to look at on the weekend. And thank you for doing these interviews.
Absolutely appreciate it. Congratulations on your second place finish. And now Braxton DeWeese, man, the winner of the race tonight. That was a massive battle there at the end between you guys. How did you end up coming out on top?